Welcome back. In this lecture, you are going to learn how to do goal setting and track those goals to make sure that you achieve it. And of course, we are going to take it to the next level by using ChatGPT. So let's say that I have a goal where I want to become more productive. So what I would do is that I would create a prompt looking like this. It says, help me set a SMART goal and a detailed plan to increase my productivity by 30% in the next 3 months. So it is a good idea to include the word SMART goal. It is a method of goal setting that stands for specific, achievable, measurable, relevant, and time-bound. It's just a way for ChatGPT to give it enough context and enough information so that you know exactly what the goal is and exactly when you want to achieve it. So in here, I've also added in, I plan to increase my productivity by 30% in the next 3 months. Now, of course, it won't know 30% from what, but it does know that it wants you to be more productive over this period of time. So it will give you a starting point with productivity and then increase with 30% over those 3 months. So let's send this away. I'm going to hit enter. So here's ChatGPT's reply. The goal, of course, is to increase personal productivity by 30% in the next 3 months. Now, it's going to break it down through the filter of a SMART goal. And the first thing it will ask you is, your goal is to increase your productivity, but what kind of productivity are we talking about? This could refer to a wide range of tasks such as finishing projects faster, spending less time on unnecessary tasks, or improving the quality of your work. What you could do at this point is to be more specific. I could give it the context here and say, to be specific, I could add in, to be specific, I want to increase the total amount of work done in a regular day by 30% from now. This means getting 5 more tasks completed. We don't have to if we don't want to be more specific, because ChatGPT also says, for the sake of this example, let's say your goal is to complete your daily tasks 30% faster without compromising the quality of your work. So let's say that is actually what I mean by increasing my productivity by 30%, then I don't have to add in anything additional here. But make sure that you read through so it understands exactly what your goal is and that it got it right. Otherwise, we need to give it more context and redefine our goal. Scrolling down, we're getting a weekly plan. So we have week 1, week 2 to 3, week 4 to 5, week 6 to 7, and then 9 to 12. So what we want to do now is that we want to organize this so that we can track it properly and start putting in the work in order to actually achieve our goal. To do this, I'm going to be using Trello. It's completely free. Just go to Trello.com, sign up, log in with your Gmail or whatever you want to log in with. It's super fast and you'll be right here. Then we're going to go down and click on create new board. I'm going to call this increase productivity by 30% goal. I'm going to make the visibility into private because I want this to be for me only. Click on create. So the first thing I'm going to do is just to mimic the time frame that ChatGPT has given me, which is first week 1 and then 2 to 3 and then 4 to 5. So this one will be called week 1, week 2 to 3, week 4 to 5, and then 6 to 8. 9 to 12. Great, so now I have all of my weeks in here. I'm going to add in the tasks that ChatGPT has given me. I'm going to copy all of this, task 1, move back, click on add card, paste it in, add card. Gonna move back, task 2, I'm gonna copy all of that, paste it in, click on add card. Now I'm going to jump over to the next week, 2 to 3. I'm gonna do the same thing here. I'm gonna copy it, paste it in, and I'm going to continue doing this until I fill them all out. And once you've added them all in, this is where your work starts. First of all, of course, we are on week 1. You need to take a note of what day it is so that you know when a new week starts from you. We always start week 1 on the very same day that we're starting the entire goal setting with. So if we start week 1 on a Friday, then of course, week 2, these tasks will become available 1 week later on that Friday. So the first assignment we get is task 1, start by tracking your current productivity. Use the productivity app or simply time yourself with a stopwatch to see how long your usual tasks take you. Now, in order to track my progress properly, what I'm going to do is that I'm going to click in on the task here, and down here, I can write in my own comments. I could write in, for example, today I timed myself. I had to do 10 tasks. Usually I have 8 to 12. It took me 8.5 hours, which is average. So knowing that it took about 8.5 hours for me to complete all my tasks, I am looking at an end goal down the 3 months line to complete a similar workload at about 5.5 hours, because that is 30%. So then I can do save, and this is it for today. Now the next day I can come in and I might do something like, today I did the same amount of tasks in 8 hours and 15 minutes. minutes. Go down and click on save. And of course, we are getting the time just up here. So we can keep track on how we've been doing by clicking out of here. And then as we might be on week 4 or 5 and we're wondering, oh, where was it that we started? We can go back to week 1, check in here and see how we did when we started off and where we might be now productivity wise when we're completing our tasks. And of course, if you need more customization, let's say task 2 here, it says identify the tasks that are the most important to your daily and weekly productivity. These are the tasks you'll be focusing on for this goal. You can add in more description. For example, the tasks that I need to complete daily are, and then I would write them in here. I can make a bullet pointed list, fix all orders, review customer acquisitions, etc., etc. And then I would have all that in the descriptions. And of course, if the goal was even different and I had a checklist of things I needed to accomplish this week, I could click on save here, go to the right, click on checklist. I'm just gonna call this checklist for now. And then I could add those in. Fix all returns, update my Trello every evening, export my analytics data, click on add, and then we're gonna have the list in here so I can just check these off, and then I'm gonna get a progress bar down here as well. So there's a lot of customizations we get with Trello that we can use to track our goal and make sure that we achieve the goal that we have set. So once again, in order to set a goal, track it and achieve it, all you need is a simple prompt that says, help me set a SMART goal. I recommend including that word, and a detailed plan too, and then write in your goal. And I recommend to be specific what the goal is, how much you want to improve by, and in what time frame. And clarifies your goal and you don't think it's specific enough, all you need to do is give it more context, run that prompt, you're gonna get a new goal setting, and then add it all into Trello just like this, week by week, all the different tasks you've been given, go into them, follow up on your activity, make yourself accountable, check out your constant progress, and you will reach your goal in no time thanks to ChatGPT, your hard work, and your own organization skills. Well done. See you in the next lecture. Welcome back. In this lecture, you are going to learn how to improve your productivity and your time management by learning how to automate those repetitive tasks. So let's take an example. Let's say that you are a data analyst and you need to clean the data in your CSV files every day. And that is something that just, it keeps getting new data to it, and there will be duplicates of that data, and you need to go in and you need to manually clean it every single day, and it just takes time and it is not productive, and you do it every single day. Well, let's change that. So I'm gonna write a prompt like, help me write a Python script to automate my monthly data cleaning process, and then send it away. So we're getting some follow-up questions here. First, what is the format of the data source? So I'm gonna write just like it is written here. I'm gonna put a 1 and it's gonna be a CSV file. Then I'm gonna hold shift and press enter, and then 2 is going to be about text. 3, removing duplicates of the data. 4, no, I don't need to generate any visualizations. 5, I want it to be saved as a new file with the word cleaned in it. 6, let's say that we are using pandas. And then I'm just gonna send this away. And then here we have the script that we can run. And down here it says, in the script, replace your file.csv with the path to your CSV file. Now, I'm not a data analyst, but if I was, then this would be heavenly to get the code just written out just like this, and then click on copy code and start running it and automating that tedious process of cleaning it of duplicates every single day, especially working for a large company. So let's take another example. Let's say that you are a clinic manager at a health facility, and one of the issues you have is with the client appointment communication, managing it properly. In other words, you don't have a proper system for managing all of the clients coming in, so you need to do all of that manual work. So I'm instead going to write a prompt like this. I'm a clinic manager in a busy healthcare facility. We're struggling with managing patients' appointments efficiently, and it's leading to missed appointments and wasted slots. Could you provide some suggestions on how we can automate this process and improve patient communication? So we're getting some amazing tips here. Automated scheduling software, appointment reminders from that software, waitlist management, checking kiosks, etc. AI and chatbots, definitely something you would want to implement. But let's say we're looking at this one, automated scheduling software. Implementing a robust scheduling software that allows patients to book, reschedule, and cancel their appointments online can significantly reduce administrative burden. Ensure the software is user-friendly, mobile, responsive, and customizable to your clinic's needs. That sounds really good, but what would those be? So let's go ahead and ask. Which automated scheduling softwares would you recommend? So here we're getting some suggestions. Then all I would need to do is go ahead and select it, copy it, and put it into Google and check out the different programs, download it and take it from there. I could even go into ChatGPT and ask for tutorials, ask for recommendations, best practices, etc. Just like we got earlier here with appointment reminders, waitlist management, etc. Telemedicine, patient portal, all of that really important stuff we could dive even deeper into. Now, because this topic of automating repetitive tasks is so important, let's take a third example. So let's say that you work in the HR department and every mail that comes into you needs to be showcased in a document form and shown to your manager or be saved down for legal reasons or whatever it might be. And that is a really repetitive task to get an email, have to copy all the text and put it into a document and save it down. How could I automate it? Now, there is a program called Zapier that automates tasks like this. So I'm going to write a prompt and ask about it. I'm a HR representative who needs all my emails directly added to a Google document. How could I achieve this using Zapier? And then I'm gonna send it away. And then we're gonna get a complete tutorial. So step number 1 is create a Zapier account. And that one's gonna be really easy because we already have an account with Zapier. In fact, for another project, whenever we would add in any of our YouTube videos to our Google Drive, we would make a SAP so that whenever we added a video to our Google Drive, it would automatically also upload to YouTube, which would save so much time. So in our case, we're looking to create a so-called SAP, which is a connection between two softwares, where we want to choose an app and event with Gmail and then connect it to a trigger that is going to be connected to Google Docs. So you could go ahead and click on create SAP, or you could just start off by searching here for, first of all, Gmail, there we go, and then Google Docs, there we go. And then when this happens, it's going to be when I get a new email, then do this. Create a document from text, click on try it. Then I would go down, click open this one, connect it to my Gmail, click here and make sure that I'm connected to the right Google account here as well to access the docs. And then I would run this SAP and then suddenly I've automated this task as well. Now Zapier allows you to have up towards 5 so-called SAPs completely for free. So it is an amazing tool to use. So while Zapier can connect most programs and tasks in the world, that doesn't necessarily mean that you know what you want to automate or how you will automate them in Zapier. And that is where ChatGPT comes in. ChatGPT will tell you what you should automate, and if you ask it how you should automate it in Zapier, it will give you a tutorial and tell you what to choose in the different settings, what softwares to connect, and then how to run it. So make sure that you try all of these different suggestions out. Make sure that you simply ask what you should be doing in order to automate your repetitive task. And then if there is something that is using multiple softwares, see if you can connect it using Zapier, and then use a ChatGPT prompt where you ask, how do I automate this task using Zapier? And then see the response you get. Good luck, my friend. Enjoy getting rid of those time-wasting repetitive tasks. Let's move on to the next lecture. Welcome back. In this lecture, you are going to learn how to improve your productivity by learning to use ChatGPT to streamline your workflows. Streamlining your workflows basically means learning how to take the task you're already doing and doing them more quickly and more efficiently. So let's say, for example, that I am a project manager within the construction industry and I want to learn how to streamline my workflow in order to save time and be more productive. So I could write a prompt like this. How can I streamline the workflow for my project management tasks? I work in the construction industry, and I'm just going to send it away. So here I'm getting some amazing tips for optimizing my workflow. And while I'm not going to read through all of this, one of the tips is use a project management software like, for example, Asana, Trello, or more construction specific ones like Procore or PlanGrid. A little further down, it says prioritize tasks. Not all tasks are created equal. Some are more crucial to the progress of the project. Understanding and prioritizing these tasks can help you ensure the most important parts of your project are completed first. And that is a really good point. What we could do is we could go to Trello, which is amazingly enough completely free. We could go down to create new board. We could call it project management for construction. I'm gonna make visibility into private for only me and then create. And then I could put in 3 sections here. Number 1 would be tasks, not important, very important, completed. And now from here, I could just add in all of the tasks. And this would be a super fast and effective way to prioritize my task by saying, okay, well, this one is actually not that important, while this, it really needs to be done. This one, not so important. This one really needs to be done. And you might even have an intermediary that says decently important in the middle here. And then as soon as any one of them are done, we could move them over to completed. And this would be an amazing way to get an overview and streamline our workflow as a project manager within the construction industry. Now, looking down, it also says implement lean construction methodologies. Lean construction is a method that focuses on minimizing waste and maximizing value. I don't know what that is. So I might write, tell me more about the lean construction methodology, and send it away. And then here I could get to learn more about the lean construction methodology. For example, about eliminating waste, maximizing value. And there's a ton of different tips, and especially down here, decentralized decision making. Decisions are made by the people who are closest to the work and have the most relevant knowledge, rather than by managers or supervisors who may be removed from the day-to-day operations. By asking more questions and understanding more about the lean construction method, I could start adapting that to these tasks, and that might mean that the very important task no longer is that important, or one of these tasks might be more important and be changed from not important to very important. So keep asking ChatGPT questions whenever something comes up that you don't understand. So let's take another example. Let's say that I am a sales rep and I work at IKEA, and I want to learn how to streamline my workflow. So I might use a prompt like this. How can I streamline the workflow while working in the sales department at IKEA? And I'm gonna send it away. And just like before, we get a lot of tips on how to streamline our workflow. One of them is to adopt a customer relationship management system. And then it gives some tips on a couple of different CRMs. While there are too much here for us to digest in this lecture, let's say, for example, that I think this is a really good idea, but starting off, I want to use a free one. So I might continue by asking, which free CRM system would you recommend? And now with these different CRMs, I could just go ahead and copy this text, paste it into Google, and start checking them out. I might find that one of these actually work better than the other for me. I could download it, and knowing that it is free, I can just start using it right away. So when it comes to learning to streamline your workflow, just ask ChatGPT, how can I streamline my workflow? Give it some context. For example, what do you work with? What are your main tasks, depending on how much context you want to give? Where do you work, which might be important? What do you work with? You don't have to give it a ton of information and context. The less you give it, the more general suggestions you will get. But even these general suggestions can usually be extremely handy. But feel free to add in as much as you're comfortable with. And then whenever you get replies that you don't understand, maybe there's a word like CRM, maybe you're looking for more CRMs or the lean methodology, or maybe there are parts of the lean methodology you want to learn more about, keep asking questions. And in no time, you will have learned how to streamline your workflow. Well done. See you in the next lecture. Welcome back. In this lecture, you're going to learn how to use ChatGPT to summarize big pieces of text such as documents and articles, so you can get a nice overview and save a ton of time. So the first thing we want to do is that we want to find our piece of text or document. And let's say that I'm reading something on Medium and I think this article looks really interesting. However, it's a decently long article, and there are other articles I want to read as well. I want to understand the information, but I don't want to spend all this time reading it through. So what I can do is that I can copy the entire text starting from the very beginning here, select it all the way to the bottom, copy it, head back over to ChatGPT, and then write a prompt that says, summarize this article in 5 sentences in a list. I'm going to hold Shift, Enter, Enter, and here I'm just going to paste the entire article in and then hit Enter. And here we have all of the information summarized nicely and concisely. So this is one of the best techniques you can use whenever you need to understand large volumes of data and text in a very short time. And should you ever get an error that there's too much text, then just do it in segments. You take a piece of text, ask it to summarize, take the next piece of text, ask it to summarize that part, and then you grab all of those summaries and then you ask it to summarize all of the collected summaries. That way you can have massive amounts of text and data and take all those summaries into one larger summary. And we're talking about spending a couple of minutes at most, and then getting data and information that would normally take hours to understand otherwise. So this technique is amazing for quick learning of big volumes of data and texts. Amazing. Make sure that you play around with this yourself, and I'll see you in the next lecture. Welcome back. In this lecture, you are gonna learn how to super quickly generate research ideas for whatever article or thesis that you need to be writing. And of course, we're going to be using the most creative tool in the entire world, ChatGPT. So let's say that I have my topic and I want to do my research for AI in education. The question is, what should the topic be? What should I be researching? Well, the first thing I can do is create a prompt for that. And the prompt looks like this: generate a list of research questions for a thesis on the use of AI in education. Hit enter. So amazingly, here I've gotten a list of 20 questions for my research on the use of AI in education. So what I could do now to get properly organized is that I could go to Trello.com and sign up. It's completely free, and if you use your Gmail or something, the setup is just, under 1 minute and you're in there. And you're gonna get to the Trello workspace that looks like this. Once you're in here, and I'm just calling my workspace ChatGPT workspace, we can call it whatever, doesn't matter. I'm gonna go down and click on create new board. I'm gonna give this board title AI in education. Visibility is going to be private because it's only for me. Of course, you can add multiple people and you could all work together on this. I'm gonna click on create. Now in here, we have 3 sections automatically set up: the to do that we're supposed to do, the doing, and the done. And we can leave them like this, but we could also change them. So for example, for my research, I could change it to do and I could call it ideas. Doing could be writing, that's currently in writing, and done could be completed. Now all I need to do is add in the ideas that ChatGPT just gave me. Just go in here, I grab the first one, copy, jump back, click on add card, paste it in, add card. And then the second one, copy, jump in, paste it in, add card. I'm gonna do this with all of them. And once we've added in our list of ideas, we can start segmenting all of our ideas and work based on the progress that we're making. So for example, let's say that I like this one. To what extent can AI replace or supplement the role of a human teacher? Well, that is something I want to be writing about. So all I'm gonna do is that I'm gonna click and hold and drag it under where it says writing here. So this way we can use ChatGPT to get a massive amount of research ideas, add in those ideas, and then check through them, add in the ones that we like into the writing section, write about them, and then when we're done, we just add them in completed. And eventually you're going to have gone through a lot of these. Maybe you're writing multiple, you're combining them, you're adding into your completed list, and before you know it, your thesis will be completed. And of course, if you're adding in all of your ideas here and you're finding that, hey, this is a pretty bad idea. Let's say this one, potential implications for AI for special education. Maybe that doesn't fit your thesis. You can click on the right button up there and then just move down and click on archive, and it's gone. It's that simple. Now, of course, there's a lot more we can do with Trello, but this isn't really about Trello. This is about how to use ChatGPT to get a lot of research ideas quickly, and then how to organize them and start putting them into practice. So in this way, writing my thesis on AI in education is gonna be no problem, thanks to ChatGPT and thanks to organizing them in Trello. So make sure that you do this yourself when you need to generate research ideas, because it's so quick and it's so effective, and organizing is a key point when ChatGPT gives you so much good information. See you in the next lecture. Welcome back. In this lecture, you are going to learn how to develop new skills and learn new topics using ChatGPT. Now, it doesn't matter if you're a complete beginner, intermediate, or advanced, ChatGPT is going to be one of the best teachers in the world. In fact, when you think about it, ChatGPT is the collection of pretty much all of the teachers in the world, able to teach you pretty much anything. So this is amazing. I'm going to pretend that I am a beginner programmer. Now, if I was a truly from scratch beginner programmer, I might ask ChatGPT something like, teach me Python programming as a complete beginner. But let's say that you are not a complete beginner. Let's say that you have some knowledge within coding and you want to learn something specific within, say, Python coding. I could write, explain the concept of lists in Python and provide some examples. So I'm gonna send this away. So I've gotten a great response from the master teacher ChatGPT, and it says, a list in Python is a built-in data type that can contain multiple items in a specific order. Each item has its position, also known as an index that can be referred to. The first item is at index 0 and the second at index 1, and so on. Lists can contain any type of integers, floats, strings, other lists, and even objects. You can mix types in the same list. Here's how you can create a list in Python. So here we are getting the first example, and let's say that I want to learn how to access these lists. So the first thing I can do is that I can just go ahead and grab the code of this list. This is the first list. And for practicing purposes, I'm going to be using a Python console at jupyter.org. So I'm going to write it in here. That's going to be the first one, my list. And here's another one that uses strings. I'm going to copy this code. And here's another one that is a mixed list. I'm going to copy this code too. And then I'm just going to run it. So now we have 3 different lists. So now that I'm learning about lists and I've been given the list, I can learn starting off by just learning how to access them. So it says you can access items in a list by their index. In Python, indexing start at 0, which means that the first element is at position 0, the second is at position 1, and so on. So I would use this code print and then the list and then the index. So I'm going to try and see if I can work with this. So I have 3 lists, my list, fruits, and mixed list. I'm going to start off by writing print, and then I'm going to use my underline list, the first one, and then I'm going to add in the index. So I'm going to add in index 0. So if I'm understanding this correctly, index 0 should produce the number 1 because the index, the actual counting starts with 0, but the first one here, the actual 0, is the number 1. So let's see. And it prints 1. So this seems to be true and this seems to be working. Let's say that I use print and then I'm going to access fruits and I'm going to do, let's go for cherry. So cherry should technically be number 2 in the index like this. And let's see the results. And we get cherry. And finally, let's just access mixed list as well. And for the mixed list, I'm going to use index 3, which should produce this one, 4 and 5. Let's see. Oh, and I can see that I actually missed the last piece of code here. So I'm going to repair that one. I'm going to copy it, paste it in. There we go. Let's see if we can get it to work now. And we can, and it produces 4 and 5. So this is a great way of using ChatGPT to practice a skill you've been given. Now, of course, when I'm understanding how to access the list, I can also see how the list is built. I can start creating my own list. I can start accessing this list, and that's how I develop my skills. And this is just from practicing lists specifically in Python. So when it comes to learning new skills and topics using ChatGPT, the sky literally is the limit. You will get what you ask for. So let's say that we have a problem like you want to learn how to become a great public speaker and you're very nervous. So I could write something like, teach me to become a great public speaker despite my fear of public speaking, and then hit enter. And then we're getting a bunch of amazing tips and practices that we can start using to become an amazing public speaker and overcome our fear of public speaking. Now, whenever you decide to learn any new skill or any new topic with ChatGPT and you combine that with the goal setting and goal tracking, you, my friend, are in for a treat. You can literally learn anything. The sky is the limit. So make sure you put the practice in, you use ChatGPT, you learn new skills and develop yourself, because there is basically no limitations here. Put it to good use, enjoy it, and I'll see you in the next lecture. Welcome back. In this lecture, you will learn how to enhance your communication skills using ChatGPT. Now, let's say, for example, that I needed to prepare for a business meeting where I needed to give an update on the project so far. Now, what I could do is create a prompt like this that says, help me draft a clear and concise update on the project's progress for the next meeting. Now, I'm gonna show you an additional way to do this, but let's start off with this one. So here we get an amazing template. Dear team, I hope this message finds you well. I am writing to you to provide you with an update on the status of our current project, project name. We get a progress summary, major achievements, the challenges, the next step, etc. So what we could do is just go ahead and grab all of this, paste it into a document like this one, select all of it, clear formatting. I'm going to change it into Montserrat. I'm going to make it 12. And then I could just start dissecting this and changing the things and create it the way that I want it. For example, I add in the project name here, how many % of completion. We have made significant strides. Hopefully that is actually true. And now I could just start customizing this accordingly to my needs. Now that would be the first way to do it. And the benefit would be that you actually get to add in your own data and details here and write it yourself. A lot of people are going to be more comfortable with that. Now, the second way of doing it would be to add in more context. So let's say that I write the same prompt. So here I've given it a ton of more context. I have added in. The project is about developing a new road called Ikter Road that runs through the center of Larnaca in Cyprus. The difficulty is finding the funding for it, as the project has become more costly than other roads due to using eco-friendly materials. I'm just giving ChatGPT the entire story so that now it can craft this mail for us that we can use for the meeting. Now, of course, by crafting a mail for us, we can can not only send it out to everyone afterwards, but we can also use it to read from it during the actual meeting itself. So let's send this one away. So here we have a completely new email that is much more specific. I can go ahead and grab it just like this. And then just for comparisons, I'm gonna put it down here. Format, clear formatting. I'm gonna make it 12. I'm gonna change it to Montserrat. And there we have it. So this is much more specific given the context that ChatGPT has been given. Now, of course, what I can do is go in here. I can format it much more nicely. I can start bolding important parts like this. There's a lot of things we can do to make this look better, change certain words, but ChatGPT has done the majority of the work for us. Now, let's say this wasn't about notes for a meeting and that could also be used as an email. Let's say that you wanted to enhance your communication skills for a practical event coming up. So let's say that you have to fire an employee because you are running out of funds in your company and someone has to go and it had to be this person. So the question might be, for example, what do I say to an employee that I value a lot, that I have to let her go because the company is currently going through a struggle? She is amazing at her job, but we just can't afford her. I want this to be as pain-free as possible. Let's see what kind of help ChatGPT can give us. So the results are in, and amazingly, first I'm being suggested sending a mail that says, I hope this message finds you well. I would like to request a private meeting with you to discuss a matter of utmost importance at your earliest convenience. And then during the meeting, these are some suggestions of what to say. Now, let's say that, for example, I think this sounds too stiff and professional, and also this is not designed to be in any email format just in real life. I could give it some more context and say, use a friendlier tone of voice that is less professional. Make it designed to be said in real life. So I've added in the context, use a friendlier tone of voice that is less professional, make it designed to be said in real life and not in email, just to be extra clear, and I'm gonna send it away. So if you want to check out the new, way more empathetic reply, you can pause this lecture now and just read through this to see what we have actually gotten. So needless to say, this is a much better response and it fits the situation that I'm pretending exists much better here. So when it comes to enhancing your communication skills, you can ask any question for any situation and you can change the format to anything, whether it is for a public speaking, whether it is in an email format, real life, a small meeting, a big meeting, business proposal, whatever it might be that requires your communication skills. Maybe you want to learn how to become more persuasive. Maybe you have some aggression problems you want to learn how to tame. Ask ChatGPT. Be specific what it is that you want from it, and as you get the answer, specify more context so that it gets it right. So this is how you enhance your communication skills with ChatGPT. Now you go ahead, play with it, learn from it, develop, and have a ton of fun. See you in the next lecture. Welcome back. In this lecture, you will learn how to fact check and validate the information that ChatGPT gives you. This is so important because it's no secret, and you should know this by now, that ChatGPT will make up its own facts, it will lie about numbers, and it will invent whatever information it needs to fit its own narrative. So not everything that ChatGPT says is true, which means that when it comes to researching information and doing information synthesis, we need to be extra careful with the output that ChatGPT gives us. We could even ask ChatGPT directly. I'll ask, how good are you at fact-checking and providing sources to the information you find? And hit enter. So ChatGPT says, as an AI, I don't actively fact-check or provide sources for the information I share in real time because I don't have the ability to browse the internet or access new information beyond my training cutoff in September 2021. However, my responses are based on a wide array of information from diverse and reputable services, including textbooks, academic papers, etc. I strongly recommend users verify important facts independently. So ChatGPT knows of its own weakness, and in this lecture, we are going to learn how to cover this weakness so we can still use the most amazing tool in the world, ChatGPT, in order to research, fact-check information and validate that information. So let's use a prompt and get some hard statistical facts that we can actually fact-check. So I'm gonna use the prompt, give me 10 statistical facts about starting a restaurant business, and hit enter. So we've gotten some hard facts here from ChatGPT. The first one is success rate. According to data from the Bureau of Labor Statistics in the US, about 60% of new restaurants fail within the first year, and nearly 80% shutter before their 5th anniversary. Shutter meaning close down. So in order to fact check this, all I'm going to do is that I'm going to grab this piece of statement or this piece of claimed fact. I'm going to copy it. Then I'm going to go to a site called perplexity.ai. AI. Perplexity is completely free. All we need to do is move over to the box in here that says ask anything. We're gonna let it browse the internet. I'm gonna paste it in, and then I'm gonna hit enter. So now what this tool is going to do for us is going to try to find sources for the claim. So it says the exact failure rate for restaurants is difficult to determine and varies depending on the source. Here are some statistics from the search results. The National Restaurant Association estimates a 20% success rate for all restaurants. Now, if I wanted to check out that source, we can see that there is a 1 here. If I hold command and I click there, I can go straight to that source and start reading it through. So Perplexity gives me access to the sources of information that it finds based on the information that we paste in from ChatGPT. So this is sort of a shortcut where we can grab claims from ChatGPT, put it into Perplexity, and Perplexity will try to verify it and give you the sources of the information so you can verify it yourself. So here, for example, we can also read the National Restaurant Association estimates that a 30% failure rate is the norm in the US restaurant industry. We can check out the source in here. And when we're talking about reputable sources, foodindustry.com, that is going to be a highly reputable source. We can read through this and look for the facts that we're looking for. And further down, we have a 2014 study by the 2 UC Berkeley economists reported that 70% of independently owned full-service restaurant startups failed within the first year. Again, we can click here, check out the article, and verify it ourselves. At the bottom, we get a conclusion that says, overall, while there is no definitive answer to what the exact failure rate for restaurants is, it is clear that it's a challenging industry with a high rate of failure. That is true. But if we look around, we can see that 80% fail within the 5 years of opening, which is this claim as well. 80% shutter before their 5th anniversary. And there's a source to it right here. We can see the National Restaurant Association estimates that 30% failure rate is the norm in the US restaurant industry. We can see about 60% of restaurants fail within their first year and 80% fail within 5 years of opening, which is the exact claim, which is also from ChatGPT. And now we have that source here. So all in all, for this piece of information, while it does jump up and down, these estimates are pretty good facts that now can be cited and sourced right here. So let's do another one. Startup cost. A survey by restaurantowner.com found that the median cost to open a restaurant is $275,000 or $3,046 per seat. If owning the building is figured into the amount, the median cost is $425,000 or $3,734,000 per seat. Let's grab all of this claim, copy it, move back, and now I'm going to move to the left and click on new thread. I'm going to leave it on internet, paste it in, hit enter. So now the first piece of text we get, according to a survey by, this is the restaurant, the median cost of opening a restaurant is, and these are the same numbers. However, if the owning of the building is the same numbers, and now we have a source. So let's go ahead and check out the source. So now all we need to do is scroll down, read through all of these, check out the source of the site, make sure that it is valid, and then if it cites any additional links or information in here, check out those sources as well. But now we have a direct source to the claim that ChatGPT made that was made available to us thanks to Perplexity. So we're able to verify these numbers as well, and we're gonna do one last example. The average annual sales for US restaurants are around $863,000 as per a Toast report in 2019. I'm going to copy all of that. New thread, paste it in, hit enter. And then we get the data from Perplexity that says, according to a report at Credibly, the average yearly revenue for a restaurant is about $486,000. However, this number can vary greatly due to factors such as seasonal changes and the success of individual restaurants. So what we want to do here, of course, is to check out this source. So here's the source. I'm going to open it up. And in here, I can, of course, read through the article and find the data and learn about it. But I can also click on Command F and search for those specific types of data that I'm looking for. So it said $486,000, which is a fact that we can verify with a source at credibly.com. The question is, we were doing fact checking for annual sales for US restaurants. So the question is, what is Credibly based on? We can go back to the source, we can click on About and click on Company. And we can see that it says we serve businesses in over 325 industries across the US. So they are a US-based company and they're doing US-based surveys. So all in all, coming back to our fact checking, this number sounds too high. It does seem like the actual number here is closer to $486,000. And that is also a number that we can verify with a source. And this is going to be so important when we do our fact checking and validate any information that we find. It's always better to use a source for any facts and claims that we make. So this would be the new number And ChatGPT couldn't really back up what it said, but here we can, thanks to combining ChatGPT with Perplexity. So once again, whenever you need to verify any facts or validate any data, go to perplexity.ai, use a new thread, search the internet, copy paste in the claim, and then check out the source to make sure that it is true or it's not true. And you're also going to find that reading through this text is immensely helpful. It's usually going to tell you right off if it's true, if it's not true, if it's likely or not likely true, and what the sources are. And then you have everything you need to create a ton of information with ChatGPT and validate everything with credible sources. Amazing. So let's move on, and I'll see you in the next lecture. Welcome back. In this lecture, you will learn how to use ChatGPT for prioritizing and scheduling. So let's say, for example, that I am a student and I am trying to juggle multiple assignments at once. I don't know how to get it all done. I don't know what to start with. I don't know how I'm going to accomplish all the work I have. So I'm going to ask ChatGPT to help me prioritize and schedule this properly. I'm going to write something like, help me prioritize my assignments and create a study schedule for the next week. And I'm going to send it away. So naturally, you can include more context from the beginning, or you can send away what you want to accomplish. And if ChatGPT needs more data from you, then simply it's going to ask, just like it is now. To make the most accurate schedule, I'll need a bit more information. Could you please answer the following questions? I'm going to start by answering these, and I'm going to answer them in according to the number that they have. So first one, I'm going to write 1 dot, and then what assignments or tasks do you have to complete over the next week? Please include their due dates and estimate how long each will take to complete. So I have written, I need to prepare a 5-minute speech that I'll be holding on Sunday, which will probably take a few hours to do. I need to write a 3,000 words essay on emotional intelligence by Thursday, which should take no more than 2 hours. Hold 2 meetings, one on Monday and one on Tuesday, and they are both 1 hour long and will need about an hour to prepare for. Now notice I'm not adding this in any form of logical order by the day, or the earliest, the first, or how long it will take. Nothing. I'm gonna leave all of that to ChatGPT. I'm just writing the information that I remember off of the top of my head. So that's the first one. Let's move on to the second one. How many hours do you want to dedicate to studying and completing assignments each day? So I'm going to say that I'm going to dedicate about 1 to 2 hours each day. And then number 3, do you have any other commitments during this week, such as work, sports club, or social activities? If so, when and for how long? I work out an hour every second day. On Wednesdays, I meet up with my friends. 4, when do you find you are most productive or focused during the day? So let's say I'm an evening person, so I get most of my work done by the evening, or at least that's when I am the most focused. And then 5, do you prefer to work on one task until it's done, or switch between tasks every few hours? I prefer to focus on a single task at a time, which is a good idea overall. If you're a multitasker, it is a good idea to learn to focus. 6, is there anything else that I should consider when creating your schedule? I am prone to procrastinating, meaning I have a tendency to set up and do something and then not do it. I don't know how it's gonna add in that information, but I am still gonna let ChatGPT know that in this example, I am a procrastinator. And then I'm gonna send it away. Fantastic, so the results are in. Great, thanks for providing that information. You are welcome, ChatGPT. So I am recording this on a Saturday, meaning that tomorrow is Sunday. So Sunday is rest, no assignments or tasks. Lucky me. And we have the tasks for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So what I could do at this point is that I could either copy all of these and add them in manually to my calendar. That could be your calendar on your Apple devices, or your Google Calendar, or if you're using anything else. Or you could use the free tool Trello for your task management. So I would create a new board and I would call it next week study. Visibility, private, create. And then I would just add in Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And then I'm going to start off with Monday. And I'm going to copy the first part here. Click on add a card, paste it in just like that. Select it, copy it, paste it in. And now I have Monday, so I'm gonna move over to Tuesday. And then I'm just gonna keep doing this until I have them all. So there we have it. Now I have my entire schedule to get everything done as a busy student trying to juggle multiple assignments at once. Now remember, we started off with just having these assignments in our head. We asked ChatGPT to create a schedule for us, and now we got the entire schedule laid out, amazingly organized just like this in just a couple of minutes. And finally, don't forget the great tip down here. to help manage procrastination, try to stick to the schedule as closely as possible. We will. But this one is good. You might also find it helpful to set alarms or reminders for when you should start and stop working. Remember, the key is consistency. So indeed, using alarms when you should start, when you should stop can be a really great way of managing this organization and making sure that I not only forget it, but that I am reminded and actually do it and get things done. And in Trello, I always have my overview, but again, you don't have to use Trello. You could use any calendar that you're using as well. So to recap, when you want help with your prioritizing and scheduling, just go into ChatGPT and ask for the help. Help me prioritize my, and then whatever it is that you want, your schedule, these assignment for the coming 12 months, these 3 months, for the next month, for this month, for the next week, for the coming days, whatever it might be. Give it context. If ChatGPT doesn't have enough context, it will ask for more, and then you will have your schedule and your priority list. So amazing as always. Let's move on to the next lecture, and I'll see you there. Hello again. In this lecture, you will learn how to find cooking recipes using ChatGPT. This is a really fun one because it's completely and only limited by your imagination. You can find anything in here. So let's start off. Let's say that I want suggestions for cooking recipes that are keto friendly. I would write, suggest cooking recipes for a keto friendly dish based on chicken. Let's see what we get. So we're getting 2 suggestions here. Here are 2 different keto friendly chicken recipes that you might enjoy. So first we have the keto lemon butter chicken thighs, and that sounds so good. We get the ingredients needed, and then we get the instructions to cook it. And then we have the keto chicken Alfredo casserole. Again, ingredients followed by instructions. So let's say that we wanted to get a vegetarian dish. Suggest a vegetarian dish based on lentils. Make the recipe for 10 people. And let's see what we get. And here we're getting a recipe for a lentil vegetable soup that serves 10 people. We have the ingredients and we have the instructions. So literally, the sky is the limit. Just prompt whatever it is that you're looking for. And if you don't know what you're looking for, you could prompt that as well. Now, the most likely scenario when finding cooking recipes is that you are going to be looking for a specific dish based on something, even if that based on something might not be an ingredient like chicken or salmon or tofu or whatever it might be. It might be that you want it to be healthy or vegan or paleo. You could write that in there, but again, the most likely scenario is probably going to be that you already have a set amount of ingredients at home and you don't know what to cook with it. So let's say that you know what you have at home and you add it into a prompt. It could look like this. Suggest healthy cooking recipes. I have the following ingredients: salt, pepper, olive oil, garlic, onions, flour, sugar, eggs, butter, milk, rice. I don't need to read all that for you. So here I'm writing down all of the ingredients that I have. I want some recipe suggestions and I want them to be healthily based. Let's see what we get. So here we get 3 new recipes based on the ingredients that we said that we had. It's chicken broth risotto with the ingredients and instructions, of course, a simple pasta tomato sauce. That's not too shabby either. And then pancakes. Who doesn't love pancakes? So when it comes to personal everyday ChatGPT use, finding cooking recipes is probably right up there when it comes to daily usefulness. So again, whether you're looking to be more creative and looking for a new recipe from scratch, just put in the context you're looking for or keep it open to get even wilder suggestions. And if you're looking to create a new dish with what you have, or you literally don't know what you can create with what you have, then give ChatGPT the ingredients that you do have and then ask for suggestions. And this way, you'll always have some sort of recipe ready for you and something nice available for you to eat. Well done. Let's move on to the next lecture.